Hey, it's Trevor Grant from Revenue Hub. Welcome to one of our Who Are We videos, where we talk with one of our expert partners and find out a bit more about them and their organisation. Today, we're joined by Pontus Berner, co-founder and managing partner of Berner+becker. Really hope you enjoy what they have to say. As always, if you're keen to hear more from thought leaders in the hotel and travel sector, please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell so you know when we have new content. And if you like what we're doing, please do give a thumbs up, as it really helps the channel. Anyway, roll the intro. Hi Pontus, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Hi Trevor, good. I'm very good, thank you. Good to join you again as well.
Absolutely. We've as Berner+becker have been a long-term partner with Revenue Hub. So we met a number of years ago. We've spent a lot more time recently speaking with Veit and Till on the podcast and the webcast that we've been doing. So I think a lot of our listeners and viewers have seen those guys. So it's great to have you on board and to talk with us here, and just give us a chance to hear who Berner+becker are, how you came about, how you've grown and developed over the years. So let me hand it over to you. Can you just tell us a bit about you, your background, and how Berner+becker came into its fruition?
Yeah, sure. No, but again, also, first of all, thanks for a very good partnership in the last years. We really appreciate that. And it's very, very cool, I think, what we have built up a bit together with podcasts and everything. So super nice. We're very glad to be a valued partner also going forward. So yeah, Berner+becker, time flies, right? So we're four and a half years into the company now. We started it in May 2016. It was on initiative then by my German friend and business partner, Lars Becker, and myself. After having spent quite some years in the hotel industry and both studies back in the day, but in the recent years then leading up to the founding of the company in the bigger chains, working for revenue management and having this sort of remote revenue management being done from centralized centers. And then, we saw that as an opportunity and thought, hey, this is something we're going to do ourselves. So 4.5 years now, and running through Corona times, but also seeing a growth path in the future. So very excited, actually.
Absolutely, and you've obviously grown over that period of time. What kind of size are you up to now?
So we're 12 now in the company.
Wow.
We actually were planning on obviously a higher growth up until this stage, but everything has been then a little bit flat in the last months.
I wonder why that might be.
But we're very glad to be able to keep our portfolio with us through this crisis. So as soon as things take off, and things have started in some occasions to take off for us already, but then we're looking forward to further growth and during 2021 and further beyond.
Excellent. No, that's really good. And can you tell us a little bit about your kind of philosophy? As you said, you and Lars came out of a corporate background. You got a wealth of revenue management experience. Obviously, when starting Berner+becker, you must have had in mind an approach of what you wanted to do and your value and proposition. Could you talk a little bit about your philosophy around Berner+becker and what you want to do in the revenue management space?
Yeah, sure. We offer as a company outsourced revenue management and consulting and training, but I would say the real essence and our credo and why we exist when we wake up in the morning is really because we truly believe that revenue management as such is a huge benefit for a hotel, and really, as you can see in literature, but also now with our experience, it really increases revenues by an average 15% and upwards. So we really truly believe that revenue management as such is something that hotels really need and really, really benefit and profit from. And our our credo is to make revenue management available to all hotels, and focusing then, basically saying that everyone in need and that wants to have it and that realizes that they need it, we then want to make a professional revenue management solution available for them. And that is a lot more than only installing a pricing optimization.
I was just going to touch on that. Yeah, it's more than your philosophy in terms of talking with you guys over the years. It's far more than just handling the pricing point, which is often seen as revenue management, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say we have a very holistic approach to revenue management. Working with technology is something that we really value, and we do more and more, and it's a super exciting area which develops. But in essence, we're more functioning as a commercial director of a hotel that does the strategy thinking. There's going to be many years until the system can say, hey, let's proactively launch a certain promotion and change our distribution setup. And that's not really what a so-called revenue management system does. But we then use those to optimize pricing, but we do all the strategical work around it, anything from corporate contracting to distribution setup and promotion planning, etc.
And do you have a focus? I mean, when you're looking at your client portfolio, is there a typical Berner and Becker client? Is it independents, small, large groups? Could you tell us a bit about that sort of side of things?
Yeah, it's quite broad. We founded the company to make it available to every hotel, but every hotel where revenue management makes an impact and makes sense. Obviously, let's say chain hotels, they do their own thing. So we focus on the private market, but also smaller chains, and also in the end, franchise affiliated chain hotels. So an owner that has maybe a Hilton hotel, it's not really part of the Hilton chain. So those can all be our clients, and we have a portfolio between 30 rooms up to, there's actually no limit. We could do 500 or 1,000 room plus, and also anything from a city destination to a beach resort or a mountain resort. And I think in the last months now during Corona, revenue management is let's say luckily and finally entering the leisure hotel market more and more.
Right. Okay. You're seeing a pickup around.
Yeah. So that because those are the ones that have had a good time in some markets. Actually, even though the Corona year, so they realized that they need a more professional setup, and so that's an exciting expansion into that area and market.
That's very good. And you're based in Germany. Just again for those that don't know, whereabouts are you based?
Exactly. We're based in Germany. Company was founded in Frankfurt in 2016, but relatively quickly we moved it to Munich and opened up our head office here. So this is where we're sitting, but we also have one employee sitting in Berlin. And we also are going to expand that office in Berlin. So basically we're into destinations. But clients are spread around outside the borders of Germany as well. So
I was going to ask that, yeah.
So the focus there is Central Europe for us. So we have Austria, Switzerland. We have clients also in Iceland and Slovenia and the Netherlands. And we're in contacts with hotels in Belgium. Okay. And we have clients in Sweden, and which is my home country. So it will be fun to expand up into the Nordics a little bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but in essence, we work with anyone within a 3-hour time difference. Okay. To GMT +1, basically. That is what we need to enable a good, efficient communication with our clients.
So as you said, a lot of growth in the 4.5 years, and without the COVID coronavirus scenario, that growth would have continued. Leads me on a little bit, picking up on the interesting year that we've had. Seen a number of differences of approaches around revenue management from hotel groups, and obviously very conscious lots of people have lost jobs in this time, but the view around revenue management can be a little bit mixed. Some people can see the value to it, other people, when there's no demand, say, well, why do we need it if we're just altering pricing? What's your view going forward of where you see sort of the the discipline of revenue management, but how that then plays into you guys from a revenue management consultancy point of view in the, when we come out of this post-COVID.
Yeah, yeah. It's I would say COVID has maybe propelled an evolution that was underway anyway. With revenue management, having that 15% impact on revenue growth and outsourced revenue management being in essence cheaper than hiring your own employee.
Yeah.
We as a company see actually a huge opportunity in the market. It's definitely a super obviously bad and tragic thing that a lot of people have lost their jobs now, and I truly hope that good people will get into employment soon enough again. And I can understand why hotels, I mean, even clients of ours or other hotels sort of pause a little bit. Let's call it the daily revenue management, where you work with the pricing and pickup and demand and etc. In that sense, you might think at the first glance like, okay, there isn't much to do if there's a lockdown and no one can travel. But what we have seen in the past couple of months, and that's been super interesting, even though markets run by 40-50%. So okay, there are markets that are completely closed like Iceland, then it's just make a pause. But if there's just a little bit of travel, we can follow very clearly with market share numbers that even though the market runs at 40% occupancy, due to strategic revenue management and where you think about, okay, how can I widen my demand base here with new distribution channels, new segmentation, focus on a better value. Obviously, there will be a type of promotion planning as well, and hopefully not just dropping the bar rate, but really try to get promotional business in. That is proven to be a huge success. And even though, let's say, our client would then run at 50-60% occupancy and the comp set at 40, we can really show really good RGIs and actually market share records in the last 6 months that if you calculate it back into revenue, has given a huge value that pays for any salary for a revenue manager every day of the week. So absolutely. So I think a lot of hotels do it wrong by not just doing nothing. As soon as you have just a little bit of demand, and it doesn't need to be unconstrained demand, revenue management still has a huge impact. And I think this is what the crisis has shown us. And I think that is huge value to know that. So I truly believe that hotels should continue with revenue management. When we talk about tech, those systems and algorithms will obviously have a challenge going forward. So there, let's say, a strategical thinking that a human brain can give in that sense, and a lot of creativity is going to be a winning concept for the next coming probably 2 to 3 years. Obviously, some systems are better than others to adapt, and they are still going to be of value for price optimization points. But the creativity around the whole commercial strategy is going to be a make it or break it.
And that seems to be what we're hearing as well. Is it's that those that are shifting towards that slightly longer term view. And looking into a more strategic, that's where the real value and impact is coming at the moment. Would you agree? Yeah, absolutely. And some things might not bear fruits right away, but they will bear fruit at a later point. And it's always good to use times of crisis to reinvent yourself and improve things and processes, and then you will have a return on investment of that for sure. I think, as you say, if there's no demand, well, okay, it doesn't matter what you try and do. But if there is, it's all about trying to grab the greatest share that you possibly can, isn't it?
Yeah, we get the question a lot, like how do you relate to price dumping, and should you follow along? I can tell you one thing for sure is that if you as a hotel just keep your bar rate where it's always been for that period, and you don't reinvent your segmentation or distribution or anything, then you will for sure lose. If you tackle those things a bit creatively and you think still long term and not damage your brand too much, then you can go through such a crisis in a better way. If it's again, this is taken away. If it's a complete close and so on, then it
Yeah, of
is.
course.
And for sure, some hotels might benefit to close operations completely for 1 or 2 months. But other than that, being proactive and creative is paying off.
And hopefully, with the news around the vaccines and drive towards faster and greater testing, might start to open up some more travel corridors, and everyone can feel a bit more positive going into 2021.
Yeah, hope so as well. We do, and good news recently with some promising vaccine candidates. So we're all keeping fingers crossed.
Absolutely, we'll all keep our fingers crossed too. Well, look,
Yeah.
great to have you join us. Great to have the chance to just grab some time with you, hear how you guys have developed, and I think also just that last bit to hear about where you see revenue management adding value. It's obviously something we're passionate about and advocate, and it's why we enjoy working with you guys as a partner from similar mindset. So thanks a lot for joining us. Been great to talk with you.
Cheers, Trevor, and all the best as well for the next year for you.
And likewise, take care.
Cheers.